Hello everyone, this is the third and the last part of Chapter 1 Science Class 10. Watch the complete video to get the concept well. The topic we'll be studying in this video is types of chemical reaction. During a chemical reaction, atoms of one element do not change into those of another element, nor do atoms disappear from the mixture or appear from elsewhere. Actually, chemical reactions involve the breaking and making of bonds between atoms to produce new substances. Now, types of reactions. So, the first type is combination reaction. Two or more reactants join together to make products that are fewer in number but larger in atom count. Next is decomposition reaction. Here, a reactant breaks apart to form products that are greater in number but smaller in atom count. Combination and decomposition are the reverse of one another. The next type is single displacement reaction. Here, an element reacts with a compound to form a new element and a different compound. The reactant element displaces an element in the compound that is the most chemically similar. For example, a metal will replace a different metal. Next is double displacement. Here, two compounds react to form two new compounds. The reactant elements displace a chemically similar element twice. For ionic compounds, the positive ion reactant combines with the negative ion of the other reactant. The negative ion of the first reactant combines with the positive ion of the second. Now let's come to each type in detail. The first one is combination reaction. A reaction in which a single product is produced from two or more reactants is known as combination reaction. For example, calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water to produce slaked lime, which is calcium hydroxide, releasing a large amount of heat. In this reaction, calcium oxide and water combine to form a single product, which is calcium hydroxide. This slide is again showing combination reaction, which means synthesis. Here, two atoms of sodium as well as chlorine are reacting to form two molecules of sodium chloride as shown in figure. In general, A and B are combining to form a compound AB. Let us discuss some more examples of combination reactions. First is burning of coal. Second one is formation of water from H2 and O2. In simple language, we can say that when two or more substances, elements or compounds combine to form a single product, the reaction is called combination reaction. Reactions in which heat is released along with the formation of products are called exothermic chemical reactions. Other examples of exothermic reactions are first, burning of natural gas. Second, do you know that respiration is an exothermic process? We all know that we need energy to stay alive. We get this energy from the food we eat. During digestion, food is broken down into simpler substances. For example, rice, potatoes, and bread contain carbohydrates. These carbohydrates are broken down to form glucose. This glucose combines with oxygen in the cells of our body and provides energy. The special name of this reaction is respiration. Third, the decomposition of vegetable matter into compost is also an example of an exothermic reaction. The second is decomposition reaction, a reaction in which a single reactant breaks down to give simpler product. As you can see, an egg breaks down to give an empty shell and a chick. Coming to the actual example, ferrous sulfate crystals lose water when heated and the color of the crystals changes. It then decomposes to ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Ferric oxide is a solid while SO2 and SO3 are gases. Let's come to the next example. Decomposition of calcium carbonate to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide on heating is an important decomposition reaction used in various industries. Calcium oxide is called lime or quicklime. It has many uses. One is in manufacture of cement. When a decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, it is called thermal decomposition. Other example of thermal decomposition reaction. Here in the test tube we have taken lead nitrate which is being heated to produce nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. The figure is showing heating of lead nitrate and emission of nitrogen dioxide. You will observe the emission of brown fumes. These fumes are of nitrogen dioxide. The reaction that takes place is lead nitrate is heated to produce lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Now let's come to electrolytic decomposition reaction. Electrolytic is a combination of two words, electro meaning electricity or current and lysis meaning breakdown. As the name suggests, the decomposition takes place with the help of electricity. Here, water is connected with two graphite rods which are further connected with the two terminals of the battery. The rod connected to the positive terminal of battery is called anode, whereas rod connected to the negative terminal of battery is called as cathode. As the current is passed through the water breaks to form H2 and O2 gas. We have read that opposite charges attract each other. Hence, O2 gas, which exists as negative ion, gets collected towards the positive electrode, which is anode. Whereas H2 gas, which exists as positive ion, gets collected towards the negative electrode, that is cathode. We can see in the figure the amount of O2 gas formed is less as compared to that of H2. This is because when one molecule of water breaks down, it can give two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. That's why per water molecule, the amount of hydrogen gas formed is double that of oxygen gas. This is how electrolytic decomposition of water takes place. The next type is photodecomposition reaction. You will see that white silver chloride turns grey in sunlight. This is due to the decomposition of silver chloride into silver and chlorine by light. The reaction is 2AgCl in the presence of sunlight gives Ag and Cl2. Silver bromide also behaves in the same way. AgBr gives Ag and Br in the presence of sunlight. The above reactions are used in black and white photography. We have seen that decomposition reactions require energy either in the form of heat, light, or electricity for breaking down the reactants. Reactions in which energy is absorbed are known as endothermic reactions. In the first case, the energy is absorbed in the form of heat. That's why it is known as thermal decomposition reaction. In the second case, the energy is absorbed in the form of electricity. That's why known as electrolytic decomposition reaction. While in the third case, the energy is absorbed in the form of light. That's why it is known as photolytic decomposition reaction. The third type of reaction is displacement reaction, a reaction in which one element displaces or replaces another element is known as displacement reaction. For example, the reaction between iron and copper sulfate, where iron combines with copper sulfate to form ferrous sulfate and copper. In this reaction, iron has displaced or removed another element, copper, from copper sulfate solution. Other examples of displacement reactions are zinc plus copper sulfate gives zinc sulfate plus copper, and lead plus copper chloride gives lead chloride plus copper. Zinc and lead are more reactive elements than copper. They displace copper from its compounds. Next we have double displacement reaction, a reaction in which there is an exchange of ions between the reactants are called double displacement reactions. For example, formation of barium sulfate and sodium chloride from sodium sulfate and barium chloride. Any reaction that produces a precipitate insoluble solid can be called as a precipitation reaction. Here in the figure we are mixing Na2SO4, that is sodium sulfate, with barium chloride. They will combine to form barium sulfate, which is an insoluble solid, hence is called precipitate, as well as NaCl in aqueous form. Now let's come to oxidation and reduction. The surface of copper powder becomes coated with black copper oxide. Why has this black substance formed? This is because oxygen is added to copper and copper oxide is formed. If hydrogen gas is passed over this heated material, which is copper oxide, the black coating on the surface turns brown as the reverse reaction takes place and copper is obtained. If a substance gains oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. If a substance loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. During this reaction, the copper oxide is losing oxygen and is being reduced. And the process is called as reduction. The hydrogen is gaining oxygen and is being oxidized. In other words, one reactant gets oxidized while the other gets reduced during a reaction. Such reactions are called oxidation reduction reactions or redox reactions. Some other examples of redox reactions are: in first reaction, carbon is oxidized to carbon monoxide and zinc oxide is reduced to zinc. In the second reaction, HCl is oxidized to chlorine, whereas manganese oxide is reduced to manganese chloride. From the above examples, we can say that if a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a reaction, it is oxidized. If a substance loses oxygen or gains hydrogen during a reaction, it is reduced. Now let's come to the effects of oxidation reactions in everyday life. The first is corrosion. When a metal is attacked by substances around it, such as moisture, acids, etc., it is said to corrode, and this process is called corrosion. The black coating on silver and the green coating on copper are other examples of corrosion. Effects. Corrosion causes damage to car bodies, bridges, iron railings, ships, and to all objects made of metals, especially those of iron. Corrosion of iron is a serious problem. Every year, an enormous amount of money is spent to replace damaged iron. You can see in the figure the effect of corrosion on iron articles. The next effect of oxidation is rancidity. When fats and oils are oxidized, they become rancid and their smell and taste change. Usually, substances which prevent oxidation, that is, antioxidants, are added to foods containing fats and oils. Keeping food in airtight containers helps to slow down oxidation. Chips manufacturers usually flush bags of chips with gas such as nitrogen to prevent the chips from getting oxidized and become rancid. This was the last part of the chapter, so here our chapter ends. If you have any doubt regarding this video, you can ask in the comments below, and you can also give your suggestions to improve the video. To get the update for the next video, please subscribe the channel. See you in the next video with a new chapter. Take care and goodbye.